Just believe us, we trying to teach you the rights to read you. It's just procedure, baby.
Trials, instruction, procedure. AWS gon' teach ya. Trials, instruction, procedure. AWS gon' teach ya. Here's a tip, don't get it twisted.
It's only a car as hard as it is for you as it is for me. Well, you came to the right place. This is Attorney Jusczak, and today we're discussing the new DMV point system that is about to make all of us not have a license.
Speak for yourself.
Eventually, everybody but me. Eventually. Parking tickets was hard enough, but all right. So, and on this episode, please introduce yourself to the audience.
I'm Kim Jusczak. I am the owner-operator of Traffic Court Pro, and I am a moving violations defense attorney.
I am Mehdi Essmidi. I am a criminal defense attorney. I have my own law practice here in New York City.
David Ourlicht, criminal defense attorney. Own everything everybody said.
And I'm Eugene Tucson, a reluctant car owner here in New York City. And this is Attorney Jusczak. If you like what you see, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell us how we're doing. But all right, let's start off. What exactly is happening that's about to make all our lives way worse?
Okay, so starting on February 16th, well, it's really going to be going into effect February 18th because the DMV is closing all of its offices starting Friday, and it'll be reopening Wednesday, which I believe is the 18th. And upon reopening, they will have a new updated computer system, and that new updated computer system is going to be reflecting all new point totals for particular violations and a new look-back period. So, yeah, do we want to talk about the look-back period?
Sure, yeah.
Should we just jump right in? I don't.
Yeah.
Either way, you tell me what to do.
I mean, I don't know what that word means, so
Okay.
might as well describe what you're saying.
Okay, so if you are someone who drives in New York and you've ever gotten a moving violation, they have points, and the points are penalties that the DMV and the state hits you with. And depending on the type of violation, there are more points if the violation is considered more serious. So disobeying a traffic device or turning against a sign, 2 points. Might be 3, still unclear, but it should remain 2 points. But speeding could go, depending on how fast you're going, from 4 up to 11 points. So depending on how unsafe something is, it's more points or less points. The look-back period is how the DMV calculates how many points you have on your record. So starting, we'll say the 16th, the look-back period will be 24 months. It had been historically 18 months. And anyone who's had moving violations in New York City, I'm talking to all of you, have tried to make your tickets be over 18 months because you all think it doesn't count after 18 months. Well, that isn't how it worked. But now it's really not how it works because the look-back period is 24 months. So from the day of the violation, the state of New York and the DMV are going to look within a 24-month period, so within 2 years, at how many violations you have in a 2-year period, and they're going to calculate how many points you have on your record in 2 years from the day of the violation. So there's going to be this whole window of 2 years, and if you get too many violations or you rack up too many points, the DMV is going to start penalizing you.
Okay, quick question.
Yeah.
The thing that you said that they're doing that's wrong, explain that?
I know that was a lot. What do you mean?
Like you said that a lot of people thought something
Oh,
was
yes. So
wrong
let's
in
talk
itself.
about, okay, so the 18
what?
months. So everyone who is, like professional drivers in particular, but people who just get tickets in New York City, or they use Google or now ChatGPT, they think that you reschedule your ticket over a certain amount of time. It was 18 months, now it's going to be 24 months, that the points don't count anymore. But they don't realize that the DMV is going to be looking to the date of the violation. So if you get a bunch of tickets within 18 months of each other, so you got your ticket in 2023 and your hearing's not until 2026, the DMV is looking back to 2023. So it wasn't ever the case that if you rescheduled your case enough, the points don't count. The DMV is looking, and then your insurance company has its own way of looking at stuff, but the DMV is always going to be looking back to that time period, and now that time period is 2 years instead of 18 months. Does that make sense?
Okay, and so what that means is that if that ticket is connected within 2 years, both front and backwards, right? Because it could have been the last ticket of a 24-month process or the first ticket, and you rack up more points than allowed, your license will get suspended?
It depends on what. Yeah. So it's not a will. So that's the other thing. So it was 11 points. That was discretionary suspension, and what that meant, if you got over 11 months in that time period, I'm going to say 18, but it was 18 months. If you got over 11 points and you were in, say, for instance, a TVB court, the judge could see you had over 11 points, and that was discretionary suspension on their part. So they could decide, all right, you're a persistent violator now. Once you hit 11 points, I could suspend your license based on that. And judges had discretion to suspend but that was the threshold, and they would always ask, why shouldn't I suspend you at this point? If you took a defensive driving class in that time, that covered that time period, that credited you 4 points. So the judges would subtract that, and the DMV would also subtract that. So if you got 11 points and didn't take a class, and the judge didn't suspend you, the DMV might also suspend you.
So it's good. So I'm hearing that and thinking it's good advice, even if you're going to be kicking your hearing for whatever purposes, whether it's you're trying to extend the dates or whatever. It's good advice to do the defensive driving
yes.
before you get the conviction.
Yes.
I didn't
Take
know
the
that.
defensive driving class before. Also, it's just good for people to take defensive driving classes. It'll bring your insurance rates down. It credits you 4 points. I tell my clients if they have an otherwise clean record, my bad drivers all need to take defensive driving classes as often as they can, but they get a ticket, in particular in a DMV, in a TVB in the city. Take a defensive driving class right now, because they're going to be looking back to this time period if you're convicted, because I can't guarantee whether you're going to be convicted or not. So take it now, and that will cover this. And so if you're convicted, even if it's 3 or 4 years from now, the DMV is going to look back, and you'll have that credit there waiting for you. So
Okay.
yeah.
And when is it? That's 11 points is discretionary. When's not discretionary?
Well, it
Over
is
that?
kind of always discretionary
It's always
when a TVB judge is making that determination. So I've actually had cases where I make a client has 15, 16, 17 points, and the judge is like, and I'm like, no. And so, they took the defensive class, or they were suspended previously, and they'll be like, all right, and like they won't suspend. So there's that, but the DMV might still suspend you.
And how does the DMV, what's the due process on how they choose who they're suspending?
Well,
Fight the-
if I know a homie at the DMV, am I good?
they could. So it's been a couple of different. So you could have to do a hearing. So there's this safety hearing, and then that is at 11 points. And it's honestly been pretty inconsistent how I've seen that enforced, because some people will have. I see it more enforced when they have out of the city tickets. They get 11 points, and then they have a safety hearing, and then it's another ALJ that they have to make their case for, that they shouldn't be suspended. The ALJ makes that determination. Though sometimes I've seen it just kind of automatically at 11 points, they get hit with a 31-day suspension. So I actually couldn't even really tell you exactly what the consistent.
How does the look back period?
Yeah.
Because I think I'm a little confused.
I know
with- if I had a conviction for a DUI, the violation, right? The subsection 1, and that was in 2024. Will now I get more points than I would have gotten? Does the look back start? Is it 24 months backwards from the 18th or the 16th rather?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Because, and why I'm saying that is because I know the DMV is going to be relying on this new system that they're updating. So it's going to be very automatic. So so there's an attorney tracking system that's plugged into the DMV and logged into the system. It's VPass. They're updating it. I will know more about how their look back period is, and also once I start dealing with clients in the court, I'll have more of an idea of what that computer system looks like. But I really don't know. In theory, it's going to expand the look back period starting on the 16th.
Okay.
So even if you have convictions from 2023, 2024, in theory, and your hearings are happening now, in theory, it's going to be 2 years. Now, if you get a ticket, I guess the sum and substances I really don't know, and I'm not going to know until I'm actually fighting them, because it's all internal within the DMV.
So I guess the question is that if if a ticket is involved in the calculation of your suspension and the ticket occurred before this date,
I know, I
then
don't know.
in theory, even though it's connecting to tickets after that date, it should only be allowed to connect on an 18-month cycle.
Yeah, well, I would think.
Would the points increase it? It's just like there are changes of points for certain things that happen. So
If you have a conviction or because if you received the penalty when it was a lower point value, that should stick.
Okay.
And they've increased points. The DMV's increased points periodically throughout. Like cell phone violations used to be no points, and then they were 3, and then they're 5, and it sounds like they're staying like they're 5. It was going to be 6, but it's remaining 5. Again, not very transparent or clear. And I know that they had that there, but there was other news releases, so I'm not entirely sure. But when that's happened in the past, if the violation occurred when it was a lower point value and you were convicted after it had become a higher point value, the lower point value applied. And that's like ex post facto. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that, and that's from the computer's standpoint pretty easy for them to, because I'm thinking about it in terms of how they're thinking about it. They're going to just be looking, they're going to have an algorithm or a math calculator that's going to input everything and automatically tell you how many points. If they say like, February 16th, 2026, these violations are X points. Anything before that will have the old point system. So that's how they've done it in the past. So I think but the look back period, I am really not sure how they're going to do.
Okay, and then so that's that, and that seems like it's going to make it much harder to have your license purely just based on the window, the net being bigger. Mm-hmm. What are other big changes? So that's one change. Just purely the points changing is a big change, which I feel like if we talked about now, we're going to go into each one in more depth. Is there another big change outside of that?
Well, the aggravated unlicensed violations now, or the unlicensed violations are now 11 points. And again, the language, not super clear. So it sounds like any violation that you receive, whether it's the 509, which is just the moving violation, unlicensed operator, or the aggravated unlicensed, are all going to be 11 points based on the language of this. Yeah.
The same thing as if you were fucking blackout drunk and driving.
Yeah.
You're the same penalty.
Even that is a change, right? Because the DWAI didn't used to carry 11 points.
Yeah.
No.
Now it's 11 points with a 24-month look-back period. If you have 3 DWAIs and a speeding ticket, it's a lifetime revocation.
Yeah.
Wait. That was before, or that's now?
So that
Now.
was before.
Before?
DWAI plus a speeding ticket, 3 of them got you a lifetime revocation. But now the look-back period is a full 24 months, so it's easier to string them together.
Oh, okay, all right.
And this is for the DMV.
I'm a little confused. If you got 3 DWIs,
DWAIs. The infraction.
The infraction, then subsection ones.
Oh, okay. 1192 ones, because 3
Yeah.
of those, right?
I know
Infraction.
it too.
If you got 3 of those, which I mean, fundamentally, most DAs not going to let you get 3 of them in an 18-month period.
It happens more upstate. But
You
not
get
in an 18
3?
It's not an 18 month period.
It's in a like 20-year
It's a
period.
24-month look back.
I thought it was lifetime.
They look back
Yeah.
at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
it's throughout your whole life. If you have 3 of these, you will be a lifetime.
Okay, whether to look back or is 18 or 24.
It's forever.
Okay.
No. So like, if you have 3 DWAI convictions in your life, the DMV can revoke your license.
So
Okay.
For
24
life.
months is that speeding ticket. So you have DWAI, you finish your 3-month suspension, you get your license back, you're driving, now you've got that speeding ticket, lifetime revocation.
Ah, because no, but okay.
But it's subjective
What's a little
to the-
confusing is, does the speeding ticket have to be within the 3rd DWAI?
It's discretionary.
Or does it have to be?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
No, I'm not.
They're not telling.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that there's.
No. Back in the past, for a lifetime revocation, did your speeding ticket have to be within the look back period of your last DWAI?
I don't know too much about the DUI end of it. I really just do the moving violation, so I know,
okay.
So you guys would probably know more.
I mean, I have a client right now who he literally he can't even get a driver's license in New Jersey because New York has defined him as a lifetime revocation.
Okay.
He was 2 weeks out on the look back period with the 18-month window.
So they have.
So he got his third. So he got his third DWAI, which is a traffic infraction.
So what he did was he had 2 previous DWIs. He got a speeding ticket and took a DWI conviction within the 18 months, and then got a lifetime revocation.
Okay.
Say that again.
So 2 DWIs.
So 2 misdemeanors.
Then he got a speeding ticket that he didn't remember or think about. Or tell anyone.
And then he got his third.
Then he got his third. And so
I
it's
see.
permanent.
Okay, got it. Okay.
But I guess the question that's unclear to me is the math of the 3 plus the speeding ticket, does the look back period matter, or is it just based on the same lifetime?
If you have 3
have-
3 of them in your lifetime, you are going to have a lifetime revocation from New York State DMV
For DWI.
for DWIs
Yeah. Okay. And then the speeding
and
ticket,
DWAIs too, right?
The speeding ticket just
DWIs,
activates it.
It's usually 4, but if you have a speeding ticket, that throws you over.
So
with
does the look
with
back period matter in that? That's what I'm trying to
So the
understand.
look back period matters because the ticket looks back to
18
to all
months.
of it, right? It all still.
So it's a
applies.
DWAI within 18 now. A DWAI and a speeding ticket within 18 months of each other. If you have 2 prior DWAIs
Yeah,
in your
Just
lifetime.
So just in general, DWAIs aren't going away. They're on your record.
Yeah, sure,
right?
sure.
But you get the speeding ticket, it puts you over.
Right. No. So if you have 2 prior DWAIs or 2 whatever drug and alcohol related offenses in your lifetime, and then you get a third and a speeding ticket within 18 months of each other, soon to be 24 months, then you get the lifetime revocation.
That's the way I've seen it applied
Okay.
so far.
That's
Got
what
it.
you're seeing. I guess the question I'm trying to confirm is that let's say you get your third DWAI, 18 months and now 24 months lapse, and you then get a speeding ticket. Are you still gonna get lifetime, or because that speeding ticket is outside of your last DWAI, you won't get it?
So here's
or we don't know.
So I'm gonna make it easy. Under the new DMV rule changes, DMV will administratively revoke your license for life for 4 alcohol or drug-related driving incidents within the lifetime, or 3 alcohol or drug-related driving incidents and at least 1 serious driving offense within the 25. This is a 25-year look-back period for a motorist with 3 alcohol or drug-related driving incidents and.
That's always been the case.
And a speeding
Okay.
ticket.
Okay. Yes.
So
Actually.
the speeding is the speeding ticket within the 24-month lifetime?
Okay, so that has actually, now I get it. So that has actually always been the case, where if you have 3 alcohol or drug-related convictions in a lifetime, and then you get a serious moving violation, there's like discretionary lifetime revocation.
But now,
So the look back period is not the
But it was
important factor.
18,
right.
yeah.
So it's the look-back period. I think applies to everything you're worried about with this because it lengthens that period of time that they're looking at everything. Now the DWIs and the DWAIs, that look-back period is lifetime plus a 25-year window. So that's all going to be a big problem. But what I have seen happen to people is they take their plea, everything's fine, they're driving, and they're permanently unable to get a license. Nothing they can do because nothing you can do to fix a ticket. It's gone. It's over. You took the plea. So what happens in this situation is every single person who's like, I'm just going to take that speeding ticket. I'm just going to take that violation. All of that stuff starts adding up real quick, and it becomes permanent. And there's
Do not plead guilty to your speeding tickets, folks. That is, seriously, plea not guilty. Whether you hire an attorney or not, plea not guilty. Don't plead guilty. I can't. People think you're going to get your. Do not.
There was this famous figure in American history who said, "Fight, fight, fight."
That's
And
it.
That's exactly what you want.
Please do not plead guilty. I can't help you after that.
The reason these rules are so dramatically a problem is a lot of people think, all right, it's no big deal, right?
It's always a big deal.
It's no big deal. I'm just going to pay the ticket. It's only 5 points. It's only 8 points. I'll take it. Right? College students don't want mom and dad to find out and have $250 to pay the ticket.
You know what's crazy with facial recognition? I guarantee you, within the next 5 years, they're gonna make it that those speeding cameras will give you the speeding ticket to you. Because right now it's to the car.
Yeah.
But with facial recognition, how hard is it gonna be to say,
no
that was definitely you?
I feel like we have confrontation rights in those cases, though, just like if it's going to be going to you, I would say.
I mean,
I mean, what they need?
I feel like we have confrontation traits. Doesn't mean we do.
It's not like our phones are watching us and our TVs are watching us and they're watching our thoughts. It's not like any of that's happening.
So among the other points that have changed, right? So we know DWAIs, DWIs. Now that's 11 points for the 24-month look-back period. But the one that's the biggest problem is every single time you are driving with a suspended license, even if you take the infraction, and the rule is not clear, because the way it's written to say that if you go to court and you take that plea for the 509, which is an infraction, not a crime, it doesn't give you a criminal record, because you were suspended at the time you drove, even though you didn't plead to a suspension, that is being attributed to 11 points. Now 11 points, you're suspended.
Yeah, and just to be clear, so now this is kind of where the criminal mixes with the traffic court, because 5091s there are thousands and upon thousands of 5091s taken every year in criminal court.
I mean, if someone gets a 509 in TVB, because they'll write those instead of arresting someone or giving them the 511, like I tell up until this, I would say you don't really need a lawyer for this. It's no points. It's not really a big deal. Like honestly, I would tell them that.
No, that's what we would advise our clients that exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the problem is that like fundamentally in terms of like how criminal court operates, disappearance tickets, is that you get a 511, which is aggravated driving with a suspended license. And then the standard offer on that is a 5091. You talk to your client, you say, hey, and then this is the conversation that we actually have with our clients. Even if we have the most litigious, like I want to go to trial of clients, is that fundamentally it's not really worth anyone's time to take, like if they charge you with the 511, which is a misdemeanor, it's not fundamentally worth anyone's time to actually take the case to trial.
It's too risky.
This is the risk, right?
Your criminal
you
record.
can't beat the 509.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
That's what I tell.
Legally, you can't. There's no mens rea to the 5091, right? Like it is.
Unless you have a defense, like you actually had a license, or I mean, like
no. But if your license, because
there's no
511 aggravated suspension of aggravated
Unlicensed driving.
Aggravated unlicensed driving. What the law says is that you knew your license was suspended and you drove anyway, right? The defense fundamentally in that is that you didn't know your license was suspended. You didn't get it in the mail. They either didn't mail it, you didn't see it. There's 1,000 ways you didn't know your license. So you have a reasonable doubt argument that you can make in that case. On a 5091, it's just driving with a suspended license. That's how the law is written. Because of that, it's strict liability. It's like having sex with a 16-year-old. If you did it, you did it.
very topical.
It is very poignant.
You mean barely legal?
No, because of that, it's if they can prove that you were driving this car, and then they can prove that your license was suspended, it's donezo. Yeah. So we would tell our clients, why risk going to trial on the 511 when even if you beat the 511, you're going to be convicted of the 509 as long as they can prove that you were driving. If they're going to prove you were driving, your license was suspended, you're convicted, right? The only hope you got is that the DMV person doesn't show up. So now it's like, that's how easy, I say all that to say 509s are really easy to convict, and that's why they're really easy. They were really easy to tell our clients, look, it is what it is, you should take it. But that's going to basically make thousands upon thousands of people to lose their license on a yearly basis if this law is applied as.
So like what I think what's going to happen is like, so in California, they have 3 strikes, which means if you had your third conviction, you could face life. Which means you don't take pleas as easily as you do here in New York. Everything has more lasting effects. So the result is there are going to be more trials and more hearings because we're going to have to advise our clients not to take things that are going to have these collateral consequences that are going to make their life
No, but that goes to my point. There's no meat on the bone on a 5091.
But no, I think you're missing the point. Like, you can't, for some people, the idea of having an 11 point on their license
is not.
Like, especially if they just paid off all the fines.
I think of all of upstate New York.
I could just even, if for some people, having anything on their driving record is devastating to them.
Yeah, because we're not even talking about insurance premiums.
Just even
But it's almost easier just to not have a driver's license to drive without one.
Well, that's
It depends on where you live. It depends on where
I'm
you
not
live.
sure if we're ready to move on to the next segment, but I think the question becomes, how did this, why did this law, what is the history? Because I know you guys were talking about it earlier, how did this law come, who wants this law? Why?
So it's
who's going to get effective? And then
Everybody.
Well,
the why, why are they doing
well,
this?
we're gonna go there. Okay, so just like the actual logistics thing is an internal decision within the DMV. They had noticed they had published these, I think in 2023, 2024.
2024.
Yeah.
I think they published the rule making in 2023 and then it became effective.
Yeah, because I remember having a look at it and seeing it coming down in 2023, 2024. So I remember that, and I think they passed the rule in 2024, and it was going to go into effect. So it's all within the Department of Motor Vehicles, the legislature.
This is administrative law,
It's an
right?
administrative law matter. The executive agency is doing its rulemaking, and that's within their purview to do that and make these changes. So it doesn't involve the governor, it doesn't involve the legislature, but they've been delaying it and delaying it and delaying it until they could update. When I talk about this computer system, it's a BFD that they're doing this because the DMV has been operating under basically DOS software for the last 20 years.
Oh, yeah,
fucking deal. Yeah. So I mean, they're closing it. The fact that they're closing the DMV to put this in, to get this up and running, it is a big deal. I know they're having all of the none of the judges could work from home for the next few months, and they're all really pissed off about it. But it's a big deal that they're doing this. So as far as the who benefits?
Is it insurance companies that are sending lobbyists?
Because they won't have
legislature.
insurance anymore.
Yeah.
People are going to quit.
Yeah. So
But it gets them to raise rates.
if we could really talk about it, I think there's a big I think there's a big anti-car push because this is primarily going to affect people in New York City.
Yeah,
But
I'm convinced that this is intentionally designed to affect New Yorkers because I know what's going to happen in these small towns. They're not going to issue the tickets. They're going to warn people because they know the consequences are so bad for their neighbors.
But these small towns, more than New York City, feed off of ticketing and stops, and it's a part of their
But you
revenue.
completed the parking ticket in those
tickets
cases,
that
right?
don't have
Here you
anything,
don't.
right?
So that's the thing.
So what they can do is if you're in a small town,
Just charge them higher fines.
the guy's gonna be like, look,
So do we
here
know
you did
if there's
this, but
any,
I'm gonna give you a ticket for
So do we
not
know if
stopping.
there's any internal memos from NYPD saying now we're going to ramp up, ticketing and the result
So
of
that's
this?
an interesting question. So I haven't seen that. I know that there'll be ticket writing campaigns. They were writing a lot of they were writing cyclists for red lights a lot.
Does that
over the
count?
summer.
Last year,
no.
everybody.
No, that's a good question.
Does that count to if I have a driver's license and I'm a New York City cyclist, in my cool ass, really tight uniform, my
Or a
helmet that
delivery
bends
driver.
down, or a delivery driver, there's a hard work in New York. No, and you
of the city.
and you 100%. I don't go out when it's cold. And it's just a joke. Of course I do my wife. And you have a driver's license and you also ride a bike for a profession and you get a red light ticket or something like that. Does that affect?
It'll go on your driving record. If you plead guilty to now here's the nice
Can
thing.
you suspend
your bicycle?
They could put a bike red light on your driving record. If
So
you give them a
remember,
driver license.
the DMV has rules now.
Can
for
they
the
stop people from riding
bicyclists.
bikes?
If it's
So
under the
electric
VTL,
bicycles,
they will charge you
right?
under
So
the
you
VTL. It
have-
could go on your driving record.
It's by
Is it electrical or the ones that you pedal?
Well, so it depends, but running a red light,
Like on a city bike?
So, for example,
depends on how fast it's going.
failure to use due care.
Yeah.
Right? Failure to use due care used to be 2 points. Now it's 5 points. You're on a bicycle, you're using failure to do due care, and you get convicted. I take that plea, and you're like, all right, I'm going to pay the fine. I just don't want to have to come back.
So what the cops also would do is they would write, for the pink tickets, they would write red light on it, right? So they wouldn't be specific to a bicycle. It would just be the 1110 D1, the 1111 D1.
On a bicycle.
So on a bicycle.
You can get a
And
lifetime suspension of your driver's license for bike tickets.
No. What I want to know is my insurance can go up for riding my bicycle?
If you're charged under the 1111 D1 and it's not specific to the bike, but you plead guilty to the 1111 D1, which is the red light violation, it will go on your driving record.
So the point is,
And then yes, your insurance can go.
Oh yeah. Before we keep going.
Yeah, we're going down this.
Do you like? I think the audience would like to know how this happened, because I think in knowing how it happens, I think we can kind of have a more constructive conversation on how we can make it unhappen.
Yeah.
And this all happened administratively.
Yeah.
Right. So do you understand? Like I remember taking administrative law in law school, but only barely. Could you, I know there was like you said, there was like a comment window.
Yeah,
so like explain, they made a decision, some people in a room during the Adams administration, right?
Yeah.
Like, because this affects,
this is the state. So it was.
This is the state. Okay, so like,
it could have been Cuomo. When did Hochul come in?
What's the difference between the two?
Well, I'm just saying, yeah.
2022, right? When Cuomo got out.
Yeah. So actually, it's been the same commissioner through whatever the guy from Buffalo.
We get to, it's
easier to the
know
DMV
who
commissioner. Yeah. So so administratively, I do like. Because what I do, a lot of it is administrative law. So administratively, you got these executive agencies. They are under the purview of the governor, and they're able to independently operate, and they do part of that independent operating are the rules, then the rulemaking, and that is part of the agency's authority and how it enforces its regulations. So DMV points are part of the DMV's rulemaking authority. So the point totals don't come from the legislature or the governor. It's from within the DMV. So how this came about is some asshole in the DMV, presumably Schroeder is his name, the DMV commissioner.
It's that asshole.
That asshole. But some group of idiots in a
let's
room.
just say, like, politically, the way this also works is that the governor gets elected.
Yeah.
Whoever gets elected, the governor gets elected. I didn't gender the governor.
Yeah.
The governor gets elected.
Check your privilege, bro.
So the governor gets elected, and is there a female governor?
yeah.
No, the governor, right?
The governor is.
Yes, I didn't say okay. The governor gets elected, right? And they decide
who the commissioner is.
who the commissioner is, right?
But
their terms,
She didn't do that. She
So
just kept
it-
the same
so,
guy.
like,
their terms come up and they get to decide, or they always get to flesh out every president, every head of
Is there a
the.
term limit?
I don't think there's a term limit for the commissioner.
But
I think
they are a
'Cause they're not
arm of the
elected.
executive branch,
Yeah.
which is controlled by, in this case, the governor. It would be the president federally, right?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
the head of the. So
Yeah.
the executive person can send down orders to the branches within its control. The DMV being one of them, the governor being in control of this
Yeah.
in response.
Bucks are
No, so
coming.
And
so the governor has the authority to make directives of how these government agencies, the executive branch, function. So he can say, "Hey, I don't like the." Dan, now I'm doing it. She can say, "I don't like these directives. Change them, and then fire the people in control and
Right.
reappoint people
Right.
if what her wishes are not done." It's
No, but
effectively.
isn't there rules about how the commissioners are picked? Is it like
It's up
No,
to
it's
the
appointment.
executive
It's governor-
branch. It's
governor
control.
appoints
It's
it.
a control of the governor.
It's nepotism politics.
Hochul, you're fucking up, dog.
It's
Yeah.
cronyism.
And
It's always the
actually,
same.
she's from Buffalo, and the commissioner is from Buffalo. So
Okay.
make that of what you
so
will.
she allowed the commissioner that was already in place.
Yeah.
When she got elected, when she came into term,
She didn't
could've-
fire him.
She could have fired him
Yeah.
or not fired him.
Yeah.
And she didn't.
Yeah.
And he put this.
Well, I don't know if it was. It must be him, but this has been cooking, and he ultimately the buck stopped.
So
with
in
him.
order for it to happen, the commissioner has to allow it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And the governor can step
I'm
in.
just trying to give the audience a sense of who they should pick it.
Well, they need to
I
vote
think
in
probably.
a governor who is going to address this issue. Make this issue a actual a voting issue. And that's how, I mean, it affects so many New Yorkers, not just us downstate people who, are the best, but like also upstate, because like if you leave we have options. As much as it may affect us here in New York City more than other places because of targeting, we have options. we don't have to drive. The majority of we have
Oh, well,
public
we're gonna get
transportation. Public transportation is available. But upstate New York, if this happens to you, like it's life.
Stay in your town.
It is life changing. You know,
Yeah,
there are no
stay in your
buses.
town.
But this,
Ubers
you know what
are
this is?
expensive.
But they're not.
This is a
some-
cash grab. It's a cash grab.
Well, it's more than a cash grab.
Most people
Because how much cash can you grab from someone who doesn't have a license?
Because here's the thing: you lose your license at
true.
11 points, but reckless driving is 5 points. Right? Driving your work truck that's too high on the highway where they just recently changed the height maximum is 8 points. Yeah. Okay? Taking a moving violation or failing to obey a traffic device or failing to use due care when making a turn, according to some.
I mean, and that is a
local
pretty
patrol officer.
nebulous violation. Like that statute in particular is very catch-all, and they kind of just.
So is it possible that somebody driving a dump truck, every single day for 10 hours a day, starting at 3 in the morning, might make a mistake and make a few turns at the police
The
station?
Uber drivers, professional Uber
professional-
drivers,
and like
CDLs.
CDL drivers
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, it's gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna affect like the economy.
Yes. So let's go back to the so this commissioner, they have someone in a rulemaker within their
Yeah.
their
process.
They all come together and diarrhea this out. Yeah.
Yes, and then but there's a process,
on their
right?
own
Like we
power.
had.
So then the process is that the agencies are required to give notice and comment. So
Okay.
they did give notice to this. I did see this at some point in 2023, whenever it was published, and then the public is allowed to comment on it, and then they could do what they will with the comment. But the thing they're required to do is give notice and let the public comment on it.
And they're supposed to respond to every
It's pretty,
comment.
Yeah.
it's pretty definitive that the comments were like,
I mean, they
Fuck
also
you.
publish it in like
So-
the publishing requirements is like in their like stupid bullshit little magazines. It's not like it has to be anywhere. They're not hammering it in the town square, you
But
know.
it wasn't unnoticed, okay?
Yeah.
You know, Dave and I are members of the New York State Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, right? So what that allows us to do is we have access to this legislative committee that works specifically Vehicle and Traffic Law Committee that was already fighting this in 2022 and 2023, all the way through 2024. It became active, and they've been fighting it since. They have been trying to stop this. They have sent legislative lobby to Albany to talk to the governor to try to stop this. They couldn't stop it. They put this thing through. It's entirely designed to get more money out of people who drive cars. It's already higher insurance than anywhere else. It's
Same with
already more
congestion
regulation
pricing
anywhere
and-
else.
yeah.
It's already congestion pricing. They're trying to grab more money because
See,
most people
the
aren't going
funny
to
is,
lose their license.
I-
They pay the
I
responsibility.
I don't feel like to me to say it's about money. It's like it doesn't really seem as much as about money as much as it's about just getting like the same way congestion pricing is like it's about making it easier for people to drive, making it easier for people to drive by having less cars on the road. And fundamentally, there's a class aspect to that because the rich people who can afford congestion pricing, who could afford higher premiums, who could afford to pay for people to fight these points, who could afford these crazy ass parking tickets, like or to pay for a parking lot, they're gonna be able to their commutes are gonna go lower, and the people who can't afford it, such as myself, are not gonna have a car.
Your car drives itself.
If I can own it, it does.
I mean, we're even seeing like speaking of self-driving cars, like we're seeing the introduction of that in the city, and it seems like there's some.
Really?
Yeah, they've introduced Waymo.
For real?
Yeah, there's. I mean, it's very, very much in the testing
They're gonna
phase.
kill somebody.
You know how? They're going to din up the herd to give the Waymo space.
No, think about it.
I mean, no, you're not wrong.
That makes sense.
I'm telling you,
No,
these
it
conspiracy
does.
theories are legit. You have to think about.
Don't take
there's too much
vaxes.
congestion here.
That's what it is.
They're
it's
trying to
true.
make it. All of this stuff is you either have to pay to play.
How are other states going to react? How are the commuters from like Jersey and Connecticut like? What if they're? I mean, like, they're like there is
the
a reliance.
train.
Yeah.
Take the train.
I mean, what people do is they get their licenses in like New Jersey or Connecticut, because I mean the points transfer as far as like the points itself
Isn't
is
the
less.
same.
No, it's not a 1-to-1. So like in New Jersey, it's like 2 points for violations out of state. So
get one of those, like-
Pennsylvania might not even be like point transfer.
So
Go
honestly,
online,
Pennsylvania. When
print out a fake.
when I was a young driver in Pennsylvania, I got a speeding ticket here in New York State. The only speeding ticket I've ever gotten with any points on it. They didn't even want to talk to me. It was literally a speed trap, right? But I had a Pennsylvania driver's license. No points ever. Clean.
Right, but if you get a point, but caveat on this, folks, if you get a ticket in New York and for whatever reason the ticket is you get your license suspended, you don't pay your DRA, the driver responsibility assessment fee, and your privileges to drive in New York are suspended, even if your license is valid out of state and you get stopped in New York, they will arrest you. And then you get 11 more points. So let's just bear all that in mind, because some of my clients and followers don't know that. So
That is great advice.
yeah.
And
So
you'll
you
see
have to
so-
take care of your business in New York.
Or don't ever come back.
Don't ever come back.
when you're here.
Avoid the long arm of the law.
Yeah.
Do we have a sense of what the DMV's commission, like all the political sides of this question, what their response was during the comment phase?
Everybody in upstate.
Why they're doing this? What is
Safety. It's always under the guise of safety. It's
Everything.
everything.
Everything
safety.
is safety.
Yeah, it's all safety.
The erosion of all of our rights is safety.
Yeah, it's safety, and that's what this is.
Once we're all wrapped in bubble wrap and trapped inside of our homes like prisoners,
Yeah.
then we'll all be safe.
Yeah.
Well, it's dystopian.
So now,
Are we gonna go into the 15-minute city? Because now you got my mind blown on this one.
Bro, let's keep laying down the groundwork. All right, so the next, this goes into that part. Like, who is most affected by this?
I mean, I could tell
Poor
you.
people.
It's overwhelmingly.
It's always poor people.
It's because people who needs their license the most. It's the working class. It's people who drive professionally, who have CDLs, who are just, and like when they come into the city, like they're driving their. It like upsets me when I think about the fact that like people are driving their work vans and paying the bridge tolls, and then they got the congestion pricing, and then the congestion pricing cameras don't work, so they're sending you toll by mails, you don't pay that right away, they hit you with $100 fines for not that. It is overwhelmingly working class people that get fucked by this, and if I can go on.
Can you break down the toll thing?
Okay.
I know I feel like this is, as much as it's an episode about the DMV changes, this is also about an episode about how they're just fucking us.
Yeah.
So that's
just bend over, folks.
So that's just a very, like that,
Yeah.
I feel
Hey,
like
it's
things like,
easier if you don't fight back.
Just bite the pillow, honey.
New York is a wild
that in
place.
there.
you know what, that's your new real.
It's crazy because I don't know if I'd want to live in other states, but what the fuck?
Well, so the toll thing, like I drive in New York, and what I have seen, I have an Easy Pass. My Easy Pass will pick up, throughway. It'll pick up the bridges. It'll pick up the tunnels, but it will not pick up congestion pricing. The camera's there, so I'll get toll by mails, and it'll just I think it's CRZ is the congestion relief zone, and I'll say they'll have a picture of my car and it didn't pick up, and here's you have to pay the toll by mail. If you don't do it, it's $100 fine per violation. So
Yes.
so even you could have the Easy Pass, you could be doing everything right, but if you don't check your fucking mail and see that you have a toll by mail and pay that immediately, you're looking at hundreds of dollars in fines. And I've seen people thousands and thousands of dollars, their registration suspended, their cars get towed. They're in criminal court because driving on a suspended registration is a misdemeanor too. So it's a whole cacophony of fucking people. So,
and this exact pattern of fucking, I've already gone through on the bridges, right? Because what happened is you go down to George Washington, and the bridges. What happens is your Easy Pass, right? If you set your Easy Pass to autofill, right?
Don't do that.
Yeah,
right?
Don't do that.
I know you don't do that. I know you don't do that. 'Cause I owe the Triborough, the George Washington organizer, whatever the fuck they're called, $20,000
Oh, God,
because I have to mail my tickets that turned into what you owe is $10. But if you don't pay it, it becomes 100.
Yeah.
So now if you get 20, that's 20 G's.
That's 2,000.
That's 2,000. Well, whatever.
But yeah, but that's people who's going over the bridge and tunnel. It's people who are working.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what's so upsetting.
How it happened to me, and I've heard this happen to a lot of people. And they used to have, you told me the system changed. They knew this happened so much that they had a process in which they'll rack you up to 5 G's or whatever the amount. You would go complain, ask them, like, what can I do? And they would immediately lower it from whatever you owe and drop it down to 20%. But the 20% would still be a lot of money if you rack up $10,000. Now, what happened to me is that
doing that.
What happened to me is that if you had your car
now you have to pay the full.
They won't even negotiate.
They won't
negotiate. I used to help people with that. Now I have and you have to put it down.
People call me sometimes. It was $700 worth of tickets, and it was
for you.
It was something, that old law firm that fucked me over. It was work. It was things I was doing for their cases. $750 worth of tickets and them never paying it turned it to about $7,000 worth of fines I had to pay to stop my license to be
And
suspension.
look, he's a lawyer. He could have gone to court. There's nothing to argue. They won't talk.
No, I had to pay. I had to pay the money to make sure I can have my license and luckily
I don't know. Mine's an old school. Because I changed my system. No, so this is what. So for the old rule, right?
Like I get scared. I check it. After that, I check it like every other fucking week.
Yeah. So
because you don't like. I have Easy Pass.
Yeah. So what would happen is for the before
But when you
on the bridges, right?
You just put your Easy Pass on the ticket.
They don't notify you.
Yeah, they don't notify
after.
you. Yeah.
And then sometimes it takes weeks or longer for it to even reflect on the thing. So like if you did something and like you have to figure out when it's going to show and then make sure you pay it before then. And like I said, I have Easy Pass.
No, so this is what happened to me years ago. Easy Pass autofills, right? And I had mine set to it's $125 and auto refill it at $50, right? Mm-hmm. And that system should work. That's a simple system, right? That's not rocket science. But what happened was I was doing a lot for this is like the early days of the 26 Swag. So I was going to New Jersey to link up to work with our creative director, right? To for the art design and all this jazz. So we were going there a lot, back and forth. So I rang up a pattern of spending $500 on Easy Pass a month. Easy Pass, whether you notice or not, what it will do is if you set your auto refill at 125, but you have a pattern of driving that is higher than 125, such as myself, $500, what they would do is automatically, without your permission, set your auto refill to $500. Yep. Now, let's say, for example, you're a bum like me, living check to check, right? And you don't got $500 in your account, right? To just, worse if you have $500 in your account. Then you don't. They're taking that shit, which is surprising in itself. But if you don't got $500, they don't take it. Now your Easy Pass is on zero. Now you're going
tolls in effect, and you don't know it.
Whoosh! Everyone is $10. Maybe you have parking tickets, so when you see those shit, I ain't reading that shit. Now you don't pay it, and it's no Facto. You owe the bridge people 5 G's.
So this is one of those things that's funny. I know about the auto refill thing because mine went from $250 to $450 a month. They didn't ask me shit. It was just like, we changed it. All right, good. They charge me 3 times a month because my wife does not give a damn about congestion pricing. All right, we pay that. We hit the battery tunnel. We hit the congestion pricing. We pay for the parking garage. Then we drive back through the congestion pricing. We hit the tunnel again, and then we go back to. So point being, every damn trip is like $100. All right,
that's crazy.
And I just go, this is a nightmare, right? But the thing that I always think about is these people who are driving, coming and going, right? And they have the Easy Pass. and they get the contact and they go, you owe all this money. The what you owe is $800. Your fees is $9,000. I had a person who had $1,600 in fees. He had to pay $22,000 in the extra costs.
Well, that's enough to get. That's enough money to get a fake identity just to drive your car.
And that's when you start printing out those.
Here's the crazy part. I had to appear in summons court because of the registration suspension on that guy's case. I had to prove how much money he paid. I come in and go, look, he doesn't even have the suspension anymore. He goes, where's the proof? I go, Judge, here's the proof that he paid $22,000. Do you think that's good enough? The judge looks at me and goes, dismissing the interest of justice. Even the judge was like, this shit.
All right, but like, if you get caught in this situation, they are no longer just reducing what you owe by 80%?
So they used to.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
Gone.
Now, the only thing that you can get on a payment plan, you have to put something like 10 or 20% down on as a first payment to start it. If you miss it, the whole thing becomes due.
But do you know?
I gotta check my Easy Pass. I might have this
I'm like, I'm talking about this and I'm starting to sweat.
I check my
when you
shit
think about that,
just constantly.
when you think about this concept, right?
Oh fuck! I'm gonna lose my
Why
car.
would you be driving that much?
Use your
Why would
license.
anybody drive that many times, that much across that bridge?
No, they're working. That's like the
It's work.
Yeah.
So you get up, you get behind the wheel, you get in the misery that is traffic across every single entrance to the city of New York, and they don't click and they don't tell you. So after you work your ass off to earn paycheck to paycheck money, they turn around and go, you owe us tens of thousands, and in order to even get on a payment plan, I need 10% of the money you can't afford to pay anyway.
It's not like you can live in this fucking city anyway.
And look, since we're talking about the fucking,
It's
they're
too
giving
expensive.
us this is all moving shit. They do the exact same shit for parking. Like I just paid like $13,000 in parking tickets.
What the hell?
Yeah.
How many parking tickets do you have to get to 13,000?
Because there's fees
A
on
lot.
top of it, right, though, also?
Well, yeah, if you let them go into judgment because you can't pay them up front, then they like double. They're not as bad. I'll give you this. They're not as bad as just $100. Or actually, maybe they are. I don't know. I gotta check.
Dude, I once got a ticket. I was
But it's like there's nowhere to park.
Yeah.
Like there's nowhere to park.
Well, they don't want
there's
you
zero places to park.
They don't want you driving. And I could get into like, I think that there's like, this is going to be like, I think there's, I call it like the biker conspiracy, and I think like Hochul is
Turn
kind.
into Amsterdam.
I think the Hochul is kind of trying to like shore up this like progressive transplant vote to make sure. Because I think that like they hate cars. They come here, they want to ride their city bikes. They hate cars.
We hate them.
Yeah. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, stop ruining the city we grew up
This
in.
is a good segue for 15 City. 15
No, that's
We're getting there. So I think it's this like this sneering like transplant attitude where like, well, fuck cars, like, oh, because the subway's fantastic, and they're increasing the fare for that too, but
The same people that live in the most expensive neighborhoods.
Exactly. They think you shouldn't drive. Because these are people who've never been to
to
like a two-fare zone. They don't know anything about any of the outer boroughs where you need a car to live. They don't get any of that. So, and they're the people who, are they
Ruining our
register to
city.
vote? They register to vote. They're looking for candidates that are anti-car, and that's what I think Hochul is in particular like caving to. And I think that's where the congestion pricing came from. I think that, and then we can go into the 15-minute. I just learned this the 15-minute city. I just learned this before, that it's all a big plan to keep us here. I wonder if it's also just to drive us out. I don't.
They're trying to keep us here and still make it
Guys,
unaffordable to live here.
I'm clearly not down because I don't know what.
I don't know the
50
50
Do you want to explain it? Because yes.
all right. So
Hunger Games.
Yeah.
all right. All right. So understand that I don't know this conspiracy that well either. And right now, my producer brain is going, should I explain it?
Yeah.
Or should I just ask ChatGPT to explain it on air? But let me give it a try. And the concept is
This is when it beeps after you, and then just the image.
They're doing something nice for us. Concept is that they want to make you see like Parchester is like a self-contained like
Yeah,
cities.
You're
It's on,
such
like,
a Bronx
little- yeah.
person.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
or like
No, but it is its own thing. Yeah,
Co-op city.
yeah, co-op city.
Yeah.
Like they want
Stuyvesant town.
Exactly. They want to make these neighborhoods self-contained, right? So that you don't need anything to leave. And
like
and the
Judge
idea-
Dredd.
Except walking and biking, but keep going.
Yeah, it's like like that. Basically, everything is within 15 minutes.
It's called New York City.
Look, it's already that way. But what they're basically doing is like the non-conspiracy theory, right? Is that you make these cities designed in a way that require less travel, require less cars, and that's just more convenient for the people living in the city, right? Like it's more convenient to you to have everything you need within 15 minutes of you, right? So in theory, when you're enforcing this policy as a city designer, right, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Now the conspiracy theory, right, and I hope I'm getting this right. The conspiracy theory is the idea that they're designing these cities to be a 15-minute, like you can walk to everything you need, because once they kind of like, I'm trying to like describe this accurately. Like once they limit your will to travel based on like once they limit the necessity for you to travel,
you'll never leave.
The next step of enforcing like restrictions on travel become a lot more digestible, right? Because it's the idea of just, so for example, like a good kind of like analysis conspiracy theory is that they did COVID on purpose, right? Because they wanted everyone to stay inside and they wanted to like reset our feelings about just going out, right? And why do they do that? Because you have less crimes and people don't go out as much. Like all these kind of like weird conspiracies.
Crime went up.
No, but I'm just saying these are like the conspiracies, right? So like now the whole idea, I guess the whole idea of the conspiracy is that you change people's like thoughts about travel, about the will of leaving their district, so that if and when you want to enforce rules like now, like it's like ICE, like you always need papers.
So, but here's the thing. New York City is increasingly becoming a city of the wealthy.
Yeah, that's where I think a lot of it is.
Ghettos.
Yeah.
They're trying to trap you in ghettos.
But like
I
wealthy,
guess so.
the people that
Well,
can
think about it.
afford living in Greenpoint.
You work as a public defender. You have great insurance. If you can get to the great doctor in Manhattan and get great care for your wife and your child, you will do it. But they're trying to create an environment where you won't even leave. You'll accept the shitty one in your neighborhood.
The rich people can always leave.
Yeah,
and
I think that's what this
is
is.
becoming a rich city.
I think a lot of it,
exclusively.
like,
so it does.
But I get what you're saying.
But what's
what does a rich person not want? A long line at their doctor.
No, that's exactly it.
Here,
A long line at their doctor. A long commute to their doctor.
but like here,
A long commute to their Broadway.
but here's the
right? Like when I
here's
go
the
to work, I hate that my train is so. We were just on the G train. I've never been on a G train in my life.
I was my whole life, the G and the L train were ghost trains. Nobody run them. Now they're the most packed subway lines.
Sure are.
That
I thought I was
are
safe
not
living on the
from
G.
here.
Dude, we were standing on the train
It's
discussing
crazy.
discussing the points and talking about all the rule changes. And this guy, as he gets off, he goes, he's talking about how surprised he
I was
is
like,
that
this
the
train's never-
full. The guy goes, yeah, it used to be called the ghost train.
I was like, probably one of the small, like as you know, it's just so the reason why I think it cuts against that is because the city is becoming exclusively rich and like more millionaires live here
man.
than any. The
No,
whole
all
city,
the
man.
city.
Yo, try living in
Yeah.
Greenpoint or motherfucker, which the neighborhoods that like when I was a kid, like was not an expensive neighborhood. Or Williamsburg or like even the Piano District in South Bronx, like it is.
Bay Ridge,
the
Park
issue,
Slope, Red Hook, even Canarsie.
Red Hook, Carroll Gar, I mean,
Yeah,
like
no, it's,
Cobble Hill, like so. But what's gonna happen is the people who fucking like the Uber Eats drivers, the people that are working at the hospitals and the doctor's office, they don't live here or are able to travel in the same manner. So like what's gonna happen is you're just gonna have
Also, I want to be really clear.
Can't live here.
You can't blame this on Mamdani. All right.
Oh, yeah.
This has nothing. He has no control over the DMV or the
But the
commissioner
snow
for the
piles,
DMV.
though, he could have done something about that.
But look,
I think there is something to this, that it's a way to keep the city just a rich person's place, because who can afford to?
That's how I got the parking
Yeah.
tickets. I was living rich in my mind.
Yeah. who could pay the tolls? Who could pay the penalties? Who could drive like?
Life said, you Paul.
Yeah.
You need to relax.
The rest of us are
this
gonna
is
get.
exactly the whole point, right? Like, there are people who really don't. This does not affect them.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. Well, I mean,
You know,
It affects their
us.
kids. It affects their cousins. It affects their aunt. It affects their old granny who definitely can't pay for that shit on a fixed income, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? There are little small local non-Uber car services all over New York City. Right?
we grow
Which is like an alien to other people, but like
Unicab.
They were
Mexicana,
neighborhood-based.
Harborview car service, right? Like
The
all
Dodge
They
these-
were
Bus.
neighborhood based. Like the livery cabs were like depending on what part of Manhattan or whatever borough you were, you had your local livery cab.
You call the base. You
Yeah.
go, hey, John,
Need a cab
Frank,
from here to
Abdul,
here."
whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Sally again. I really need to go grocery shopping. And you schedule for $30. You schedule a guy who will
Yep.
drive you to the thing, who will help you get the groceries out into your home because your kids aren't nearby, and then bring you home. Like, and it's $30 and it's affordable and it's functional. Those drivers can barely afford the tolls. Did you know that when
Yeah.
you take an Uber into Staten Island, right? They on the way back, they don't account for the cost of the return trip on the bridge. So so Uber drivers don't like to pick you up going into Staten Island because they lose money on the return trip.
Do they lose money or they don't make money at all on the whole trip?
Well, they might if they were going to make
Gas
$10, they
and-
make like $6.
Oh wow.
So think about how obviously stupid that rulemaking is, and how easily fixable it is by Uber. And I know this. I was in this car with this Uber driver, and he's literally showing me the receipts of how stiffed he gets when he picks up somebody in Brooklyn. And he's explained, I've contacted them maybe 25 times.
And you know what?
They don't change anything.
And they get in if they refuse to take you, they get.
you can't refuse to take
Yeah.
So the guy is
Anywhere
literally
in
telling me,
I would
like,
never be near that bridge.
but like think
It's
about it.
hard to get Ubers around there.
Yeah.
I guess you can pick up a car going that way anyway. But I guess, yeah, fuck. All of Brooklyn, you don't know if they're gonna pick you up and tell you to take it to Staten
So
Island.
you hope you get a ride on the way back. If you don't get a ride coming from Staten Island back into Brooklyn, you're screwed. Otherwise, you're stuck just riding around Staten Island for hours.
Waiting for a ride.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, look, make more money, New Yorkers.
Yeah,
It's
have
the
you
only
tried not being poor?
way. Yeah, come on.
I've tried.
Hey, they're called
I've tried.
Give them a try.
I've tried really
Why
hard.
don't they just simply make money? Yeah, no, it's
No, so I think the reason why this is a really big deal is people are going to pay their tickets, and they're going to get consequences that are going to pile up very quickly, and it's a 2-year look back.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, like I said, I think whether they're doing it for this vast, very multi-tiered 30-year process of this 15-minute cities, I think I butchered. Help us in the comments if I.
all of them are
it's
failing
just,
there.
or I think the more practical thing is that they're just trying to thin the herd. I think they're trying to thin the herd. They're trying to reduce traffic. They're trying to make New York City a more digestible place to live for the people that matter, which
Yes,
is the people
that's
that are
exactly.
buying condos
Yes.
and the people who are can fill up this city with rich people.
That's it.
Because they don't want to. They
Yeah.
don't want to be on traffic from coming home from this, that thing,
Yeah.
or the other.
Well, you know they say that Manhattan itself is actually sinking. So they
You guys watch
are
your
trying to
mouth.
reduce the amount of cars out there. No, they've measured it. It's
We're gonna
sinking.
flow.
It's sinking.
Manhattan never sinks.
Except for when Wall Street flooded during those hurricanes.
yeah.
I don't
Hurricane
remember
Sandy.
anything
I
about
think
that. What happened in South Brooklyn? You guys keep your own ship in.
Tell us in South Brooklyn. That
It was
she said then.
underwater in 2015 or 2012, whenever that was. Yeah.
We're not Howard Beach.
So yeah, look, what were you saying about the?
I mean, that to me, like I feel like I said, I can't even correctly articulate the 15-minute city one. I feel like to me the one that makes easy sense is that, because this is going to be the direct result. The direct result is that people are going to I don't know how many clients I deal with a year, but I take constant me and my clients take constant 509s, 509s, and fundamentally, like we said earlier in the show, it's not like I can just say, hey, let's go to trial, fuck you, like I'm fight the power. I really can't. It's statutory, right? It's a strict liability. Like if you drive with a suspended license, which the chances of your license being suspended between having between the congested prices not properly getting your easy pass and you getting a suspended license due to your registration being
suspended for the parking
because
tickets.
Of the parking tickets, or due to the parking tickets, or due to the congested pricing, due to all those things.
Insurance lapse.
The insurance lapse. Like there's so many different ways that a person who's really trying their best to be an upstanding gentleman. There are so many ways for them to catch a 511. Right? There's so many ways because
look, there are people who
and your clients are the most vulnerable demographic because the people that you're legally to represent are people that are below the poverty line.
At the end of the day, people accused of crimes. The number one thing that they're going to say is, I didn't know, I didn't do it. There's no one I believe more than someone that comes in saying, I didn't know my license was suspended. Yeah. I never heard of a driver's assessment fee. I didn't know, like, my registration was suspended. I didn't know this. Like the system currently is like it doesn't actually tell you any of these things, right? Well, if they want to shut the DMV down from Friday to next Wednesday, how about you build a fucking app that tells me how my license is doing?
I have a client right now who had a ticket, a New York State ticket. He lives in Pennsylvania. He went to Pennsylvania, switched his driver's license. They told him he had to clear the tickets. He pays the tickets. He gets a driving responsibility assessment against him because of the 6 points for the tickets. They don't tell him. He doesn't live in New York anymore. He literally came with a Pennsylvania driver's license, informed them he doesn't live there anymore, and paid the ticket. Driver's responsibility assessment, he doesn't pay it. 75 days later, his license is suspended. He comes back to New York to visit a relative this year. They stop him and charge him with 511. First court appearance, they're offering a 509.
Yeah.
But he can't take the 509. This guy's got to keep coming back. And the statute, the new rule is so vague because it says any violation while suspended. He was suspended. He cleared his license. It's a complete misunderstanding because of their own failure to acknowledge that he had moved.
Yeah.
He is exposed to the same thing. So I don't know, and this is the part that's really confusing, if it's any violation, is that a discon? Is that the administrative code violation? Is there anything this person can take to end the bleeding?
No. Any violation, what? I mean, if you take a discon,
it says discon wouldn't
be. The rule says any violation while suspended.
Any violation while suspended?
But there has to be a moving violation.
Yeah, so it would have to be.
That's what it says.
It's got to be a VTL.
Any violation involving operating or incidents of driving while the driver is suspended or revoked is now assigned 11 points.
Right, so
but points are only going to be assigned to VTL violations.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get out of here, I guess the final question is there anything we can do to stop this? And what is it?
The executive branch.
Every single person who watches this episode should be contacting the governor's office, should be contacting the DMV, should be contacting your local representative. This needs to stop. If you live anywhere where you need to drive, Staten Island, East New York, the Bronx, up by Pelham.
North of
you know how hard this is going to be on you?
69th Street or 59th Street, wherever the congestion tolls kick in.
Washington Heights.
And in the meantime, before you go to court, hire the traffic pro.
I was gonna say bring lube.
I mean, but the reality is we live in a democracy, right? And like the governments and these systems and structures of power are supposed to represent the people's will.
Also, Jury nullification is within your power. So if you are on a
Oh!
jury involving a 511 charge, say no because these rules are unfair.
If you're on a murder charge or any other charge, you jury nullify that too.
The thing I would say,
Not like this
Jury
is
nullify everything.
I'm here just watch. You could call your representative. You could call the governor. This is happening in the meantime, so please don't plead guilty to your tickets. That is the thing that you really don't want to do. If you get the ticket, you plead not guilty regardless of what it is. Get your hearing date, get your day in court.
Fight.
Fight. Never tell on yourself because you don't know the impact it's going to have down the road. So please don't plead guilty to your tickets. That is my biggest piece of advice.
Especially, and this is so important, there are pink summonses you get for reckless driving, for 511-1A, for unregistered driving. You think it's not a big deal. It's a big deal now. Talk to a lawyer. There's tons of people who talk to you for free. If you go to summons court, they will give you a public defender who will speak to you and explain things to you. There are options. Don't just assume you send in something or you don't care about it or you're going to ignore it, because even ignoring it causes you problems.
Yeah.
Well, they'll warrant you. Yeah.
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 The plugs.
Goodbye.
But
drive to New York
Before we
City.
leave, please say goodbye / tell them where they can find you.
I'm Kim. I'm a New York traffic attorney. You can find me on TikTok at Traffic Court Pro, Instagram at Traffic Court Pro, trafficcourtpro.com, and you can call me and text me, whatever.
I'm Mehdi. You can find me at esmidilaw.com. You can find me at Attorney Essmidi on IG, and you can find me on the internet at the name Mehdi Essmidi. There's several links for me. Anytime you need some help, feel free to call.
David Ourlicht, ourlichtlaw.com.
He's really enjoying that today.
Yeah, and as you guys know, Eugene Tucson, catch me if you can. I'm actually going back to arraignment soon, so you can catch me in March and April.
Do not catch
In
him.
Queens.
Do not catch you.
Don't get caught.
You can catch me.
Never tell on yourself. Don't get caught.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
1,
good
2,
luck.
3, 4, 5.
Always remember, you
Just
have the
like
right to
me.
remain silent.
Good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor for keeping your license. I'm out of here. Have a good one.
Cause the work got us moving with velocity. We beastin' now, it's some monstrosity. We the plug to the source, unshockingly. Wow, what's he really gonna do now? Jolts in your system better stay on the ground. Volts in the circus as I spark to the sound. The energy that entered me are jewels in my crown. Wow, that's how it's always gonna be. You'll never really get it like NRG. Could do without the static and the flattery. Chill for I catch a charge like battery.
No style, what? Turn your energy up. No work, what? Turn your energy up. Too wild, turn your energy up. Turn your energy up. Energy up. No style, what? Turn your energy up. No work, what? Turn your energy up. Too wild, turn your energy up. Turn your energy up. Energy up. No style, what? Turn your energy up. No work, what? Turn your energy up. Too wild, turn your energy up. Turn your energy up. Energy up. No style, what? Turn your energy up. No work, what? Turn your energy up. Too wild, turn your energy up. Turn your energy up. Energy up. No weakness, just energy. Just energy. Just energy. No weakness, just energy. Energy. Just energy. No weakness, just energy. Just energy. Just energy. No weakness, just energy. Energy, just energy. No weakness, just energy. Just energy, just energy. No weakness, just energy. Energy, just energy.